There we go. 1 minute early tonight. But anyhow, that's says 17 seconds early. But anyhow, all right. Live stream this week. I've had to write a few things down because I keep on forgetting. What have I got from last week? If someone wants to send me a message, just to let me know that I'm live now. That'd be good. But anyhow, Mel out at Blaney, thank you very much for the feedback about the camera. I've changed it. I got a new camera that we was going to use, but unfortunately I can't get it to recognise it. So we've made some small adjustments to put me back into the middle of the screen again for you. So that's the best I could come up with at this stage. So, but there will be a new camera. If anybody's got any idea out there what kind of camera I should be using, within reason, I don't go and spend $5,000 on a camera, but just something I can use. I can use as a webcam because this one's not all that flash, I don't think. But anyhow, let's see what happens. Itchy nose again. I don't know what causes that. Dr. Ross reckons it's too much salt. So I don't know. Let's see what happens with that. All right. About the camera, I tried to mount it. Everything worked out all right. As soon as I plugged it into the USB, I couldn't get the computer to recognise it. So, Brad, if you're out there listening, maybe you can send me a message on what I should be getting. But anyhow, let's keep on moving along. A big thing today, and a big thing that's been in the media for a long time, is vaccinations. If you want to go camping or you want to go somewhere, unless you're vaccinated, the chances are you won't be able to go, especially if you're going interstate like we do. And look at, we're hoping to go away next year. And I'm fully vaccinated. Mr. Wilson's going to get fully vaccinated. So we should be able to go anywhere we want. Now, if we take the grandkids away with us again, I believe Azzy's going to have to be vaccinated because he'll be 12 by then. But I'm not sure about that. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's 16. I don't know. But anyhow, let's not get too carried away. But if you're not vaccinated and you want to go from, say, Sydney to Queensland, there may be a restriction they might put on you. I don't know. Like, this is Australia. I do understand that. But at the end of the day, when we was in Queensland, Queensland people have a complete different opinion of New South Wales. They believe we shouldn't be up there. We're carrying the disease, blah, blah, bloody blah. This is all Australia as far as I was concerned. But anyhow, really at the end of the day, get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. That's what you need to do. Testing. I have to test every 7 days. But last week, because I went to a hotspot, I had to test every 3 days, every 72 hours. So trust me, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's what I have to do for my day job. That's what I have to do. So, but anyhow, Mr. Wilson's shirt in the background there, the pink one with the writing on. I didn't think it was too bad of a shirt, and they weren't badly priced. They were all pretty good, I thought. They weren't all that dear. I'm just going to try and do something here so I can see who's sending me anything, if anybody. But it wasn't. They weren't all that dear. But you're going to Cape York. You're only going to do it probably once or twice in your life, so you need something. So that's Mr. Wilson's shirt. I know when I went to Queensland and going back to vaccination. When I went to Queensland, I had Queensland Health copy me or contact me because I went to a place called Canberra, which is near Dungog. I stayed there with a great mate, been mates with a very long time, and we stayed there. For some unknown reason, when I filled out the paperwork to go to Queensland, which was the permits, um, they took that as Canberra, not Canberra. They had me going from Orange down to Cowra, and from Cowra to Bora, and from Bora through Yass and into Canberra. And then when I came back through Sydney, which put me as a close contact, which wasn't right whatsoever, because I went from Orange to Wellington, and then Molong, and then Orange, Molong, Wellington, and then down to Merriwa and into Maitland, and then over to Canberra that way, not Canberra. So I had to explain that to them, and only for the bank details of the credit card, they were pretty sure that I was not to be in Queensland because I had close contact, or pay to sit there until I had a test done and isolate. Fairly hard to do in a caravan park. So yeah, that's. But once they found out I was fully vaccinated, that put a different light on things, you know. So anyhow, enough about vaccination. It's in your own interest if you can do it. If you doesn't interfere with your health or whatever, or you can get it. Or I haven't got much time for anti-vax. I'm sorry about that. So if there's any anti-vax out there that are listening, well, you know my opinion on that anyhow. But at the end of the day, if you can get yourself vaccinated, it's the only way you're going to be able to open up. It's the only way you're going to be able to go camping. It's the only way you're going to be able to go to interstate. You know, I'm pretty sure unless you're going to be vaccinated, you're not going to be able to get on the ship to go over to Tasmania. I heard that in conversation the other day. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But anyhow, moving along. Maintenance on caravans and campers and your cooking gear. This is, you know, unless you're like us and go camping in the cold, some people don't, but we do. Make sure it's not hard. Jack your caravan up, take your wheels off, check your wheel bearings, wash them up, new grease, new wheel bearings. You know, you do one this weekend and you do one the next weekend. Not hard to do it all, because trust me, when you're on the side of the road trying to fix a wheel bearing that's seized up and grabbed itself on the axle, and you've only got a hammer and a coal chisel, it's going to be very difficult. All for just checking the grease and washing them out and repacking them and putting them all back in. And if they look like they're a bit buggered, because now let's say you've got bearings like we've got in the C12, which are nearly $100 a pair. They're nowhere near that, especially in a camper. You know, you can buy them pretty well anywhere, super cheap or somewhere like that, or a bearing place for less than $50 a pair. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. Caravans, most caravans, if you've got a C12, they've got a very, very big bearing in them, very big, large bearing, but not hard to do. Just pull them out, wash them out, just check your bearings. On your bearings, I used to manage a workshop for a transport company up in the Hunter Valley many years ago. Now, if we pulled a bearing out and they had little pits all over the rollers, they'd go in the bin. So if you pull your bearings out, you wash them up and you look at them and they've got cracks in the case hardening, which is the chrome stuff on the outside. You've got cracks in that, or you've got pits in it, throw them in the bin. Do yourself a favour, put them in the bin and go and get some new ones. You've got plenty of time. You don't go camping in the winter. Well, unless you're like us, of course. So just make sure you look at that. New seal, new bearings, new cup, new cone, and new grease. And you're as safe as the Bank of England. No problems. The preload is important. Just remember that you want 1 or 2 thou of movement in your bearings when you put your wheel on, so you can that'll be taken up with heat. So shout out to Mr. Buckaroony, like I normally do, and Joey and a few of the others down around Cessnock, and Sophie, and the grand boys. They be watching tonight. they'd be looking to see what's going on. So, but anyhow, that's all good. Now, everything you cook, because you carry it with you, the chances are you may get some kind of bacteria. If you everybody's usually got a fridge today. That's probably not all that bad. But I've got to say a shout out to Barry too. Sorry, Barry, I couldn't think of your name. It's Alzheimer's, mate. You noticed today I've had a haircut and all the greys coming out in it. With the if you don't carry it in the fridge and you don't keep it very, very cold, like as in your fridge should be set at -2 to keep your meat. It won't keep it frozen, but it'll keep it fresh to a certain extent. So you need to do that. Now, when you cook it, if there was any sign of bacteria in that meat and you cooked it in excess of 75 degrees, the chances are that bacteria will be gone. Now, that's okay. How do you do that? Well, you can go and buy this one here. This one here is a thermometer. You can push it into your meat or your veggies or whatever you want to do, and it will give you a temperature reading in Celsius or Fahrenheit, or it depends where you are and who you are. It's fairly expensive, but it's about $25 for that one. Now, and on this one here, what you need to do is know what the temperature of the product is that you're cooking, chicken or pork or beef or lamb, and vegetables. You need to know what the temperature of the product is. But if you go to Bunnings or if you go to Woolworths, you can buy one of these. If I hold it up there so you can see, you can't see much because that's probably a bit better. That has got all the products that you need to know about and where the temperatures are. So I know it's very hard to read, so I'll read it out to you. So beef well done, pork, lamb and poultry should be at a temperature of 75 degrees plus. So as you're cooking it, you push this thing down through it. You leave it there for a minute or so until it reads a temperature. Now, if it's under what poultry should be, because poultry's a meat that can poison, or poison is probably not the word, make you sick very quickly, is it should be in excess of 75 degrees. Now, when you look at this thing here, it says that the poultry should be in excess of 75 degrees. So you push that down inside the dead chook when he's cooking, and if it shows 60 degrees, the centre of the chook's not cooked. So pull that back out again and keep on cooking. Rotisserie, because with the rotisserie you cook around the outside and you cook your way in. With the camp oven, it's a little bit more different because the camp oven has, if it's sitting on a if it's sitting on a trivet, then you've got the heat around it, so it cooks fairly even. But with a rotisserie, because it's going around and around and around, it sort of cooks one spot as it's going around. So it takes a lot longer and takes a lot longer to get into the centre of the meat. So that's a must if you're cooking on a rotisserie. A spit, in other words, there, boys. So if you're having a beer at the bar and someone says, what's a rotisserie, mate? It's a spit, cooking on a spit. So now with beef, I don't cook beef anything bar well done when I'm camping. It's always well done. If you want it medium rare, it's usually difficult to do. So I always look at everything in excess of 75 degrees and call it well done. Now, pork is another thing that could make you sick. Lamb's okay. Lamb's not too bad. But the thing is with lamb, if you cook lamb properly, it's always got that little bit of red in the middle of it, and this temperature will tell you that it's in excess of 75 degrees. If you want to leave that in the fridge for a day or two and make sandwiches out of it when you go camping or when you go for a hike somewhere or whatever you're doing, then you really need to know that it's in excess of 75 degrees, because if you don't cook it properly, put it back in the fridge, that center of that lamb could have some kind of bacteria in it. You could be making sandwiches that's going to make you sick. So, and pork's the same. Make sure you cook pork properly. It's in the same boat as poultry. So you've got chicken, duck, turkey, and pork. Need to make sure the temperatures are right, because they can carry a bacteria. So make sure that that's okay. I've got to move in the seat. Poor old bum's getting a bit rough here. So Bunnings or Big W, about $8. Not dear. I have seen them for 12, but not much more than $12. Worthwhile having if you're going to go somewhere. They're a must. Trust me, if you're going to do some cooking somewhere, the last thing you want to do is make the kids sick. They won't want to go again. Or the mother-in-law. The worst thing you could do is make the mother-in-law sick. That'd be a bummer. All right. Where am I up to? Fruit. But I haven't got it with me. Mr. Wilson, you want to pass me mango? Now, we can go to some places. Mr. Wilson won't come near the camera, but thank you very much. You can go to some places by, the major supermarkets. You can go there and you can pay up to $4 for a mango or a mango. Now, when I was in Queensland, when we come back down through Queensland, we came back down through some of the mango growing country down there. All the mango trees were in flower, not a mango on them anywhere. So the mangoes that you see today are coming from most probably Darwin and Western Australia. And that's the best part about this great southern land is we can grow mangoes in Western Australia and Darwin in the winter of New South Wales and have them down here at this time of the year. So I want to give a place a plug that I go and get a lot of fruit from. Some of it's really good, some of it's not so good. Some of it you buy fresh there and then and have to eat it that day. But in saying that, this mango here, that one there, as you can see, it's got a couple of little blemishes on it and a couple of little spots on it. These here were $7.99 a kilo for these mangoes. I didn't notice what the other ones were, but I know when they do come out, they'll be in excess of $3 each. So Harris Farms, yeah, great place to go. $7.99. I think I got 6, and it was just a little bit over a kilo. So for $7.99. Oh, I thought that was pretty good. Like I said, it's got a couple of little marks on it. See the little mark there? I'll hold it up in front of the camera for you. Little mark there and a little mark there, but that's on the skin. You don't eat that part. So I thought that was wonderful, actually. A little bit soft, so it's not still green. Looks green, but it's not. They have a great deal on strawberries all the time. And guess what? No needles. Don't get any needles in the strawberries. That's even better again. So the springtime fruit is on its way. I love mangoes and ice cream, mangoes and cream, mangoes with peaches. I love fruit. I love lots of fruit. But anyhow, and a mango in the fridge is pretty good. How do you carry a mango in a fridge? It's really, really easy. You put everything in that you're going to put in, and you sit the mangoes on the top. Don't let them go down the bottom because you squash them. That's how you carry mangoes in your fridge. There's nothing better than a nice cold mango. Don't freeze them because they'll go black on you. They really will. So that's if you want to just have a look at Harris Farms. They're pretty good. They've got a good range of everything in there. The one at Orange has got seafood, it's got meat, it's got fruit, it's got veggies, it's got dairy, and it's the only place that I know in whole Orange that sells butter in a can, like as in a can. Yeah, about that big. So you can go there if you're going hiking somewhere and you want to take your butter with you. You can buy it in a can. We used to have that in our ration packs. All right. We spoke about books last week. Now, with books, I'm a great believer in recycling. So you're going to go to Cape York. This book here, I'll tell you how much it is. It's a Cape York book. I've got to sort of look under it now to see to make sure I'm holding the right spot. This book is reasonably old, but one thing about this planet, it's over 3 billion years old, so things don't change dramatically in 10 years' time. The roads might. To give you an idea, that's the DC-3, right? I'll get it in the right spot for you. That's the DC-3 that crashed there in the 40s during the Second World War. Now that's all overgrown now with trees, and it's had a few bushfires through there. One thing about the tropics, you have a bushfire and in 12 months' time you get a heap of trees there or a heap of grass. So that's probably about the only thing that's changed. But when we go back to those ones, we're going to get in the right spot. That there is the Beauforts. You can notice a whole heap of growth around those, a whole heap of trees and stuff like that. Well, when I was up there, that's gone because they've had a bushfire through there. So they've got a bit of regrowth, but it's just about gone. So, but it doesn't change that much, right? So this book, I was looking on the internet to see how much this book was when it was brand new. About $25. I think it was about what it was when it was new. And it's Australian Geographic book. So they don't tell you what they want you to hear. This is National Geographic or Australian Geographic, which is Dick Smith, you know. So you can trust Dick Smith. It was $25. We bought it out of a second-hand bookshop for $2. So there we've saved $23 just on that one book if I'm going to Cape York. Be able to read through it, trust me. It's got everything you want to know, where to go, where not to go, and what's going to bite you and what's going to make you sick and all the rest of the stuff that goes with it. So, you know, and it's recycling. Everybody's into recycling, so why not? You know, I'm a great believer in, so that like $23 is probably almost 15 litres of fuel. So if you're going to buy 10 books, that's 150 litres of fuel you might save on. I'm not going to say you will, but you might. Same thing again. The Great Outback. It's an old book. It's a fairly old book. Give you some good, give you an idea of some of the roads and places like that, you know. Now, where you can go, what you can do, it gives you, that's some of the bushfires that they have up in the territory, you know. And it happens every year. And they burn off up there because it's part of their culture. And it's a good idea too because they don't have massive bushfires up there that burns people's houses to the ground and wrecks businesses and kills people, do they? No, because they manage their country. They manage it, you know. No greenies up there telling them don't burn out the bush. You know, enough about that. But you know, my feeling about that, they manage their property well. They do. There's an Indigenous people up there. They understand what they have to do every year, and they go and do it. I've been driving up the highway, and there's a fire up there. The signs are out, beware of smoke, and blah blah blah. But you don't have gigantic bushfires up there that completely destroy towns, never to ever grow again. You know, and they're coal burns. It took me a long time to understand what a coal burn was compared to a hot burn. A coal burn is where you burn all the grass around the bottom and all the shit up the side of the trees. You burn that at a very slow rate. And once it's burnt, it's all cleaned out of the road and it brings out all the bad bits and pieces that you don't want about for the hawks and all that to go and pick up. All the mice, they go and grab that. But a hot burn is where it goes through and it burns that hot. It totally destroys the tree. Never, ever to grow again. Ever. You know? and we've had a lot of them in New South Wales and Victoria. Bad news. Bad news. Let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing. You know, our great grandfather used to say, "Well, we've got to go burn off this winter because it's going to be a hot summer next year." I don't know how they knew, but they knew it was going to be a hot summer. Okay, back to the book. Back to the book. Right, this one here, I know, was almost $30. Almost $30. I paid $1 for it. $1. So I saved myself $29. So far, I saved over $50. You know, it's not too bad. This is another book, but it's about canvas. You know, it's painting on canvas and stuff like that. But in saying that, myself and Reggie are off for our annual trip again. We go away August, September because Reggie drives a school bus. That's why he's called Reggie. And he goes and he only gets the holidays off. So we're going to, believe it or not, Silverton, to the Mad Max Museum. So we're going to go from Orange across over to Broken Hill and Cobar, Broken Hill, and out to Silverton, back to Broken Hill, back to Cobar, and back to home again. So that's me and Reggie. Now, like I said, this is a book on canvases, but it can give you an idea where you can go and what you can do and what you're looking for, you know. So how much did I get this one for? 50 cents. I think it was $10. Not sure about that. I could be wrong because I can't find anything about it. If anybody knows, and I don't even know which way it goes up, if it goes wide canvas country or if it goes wide canvas country. If you know, send me a message. Send me a message on what you reckon it is. But anyhow, just to recap, really look at the vaccinations. It's not hard. The testing, if you're somewhere where you shouldn't be, or you've got a cold, or you've got whatever. I hate the things. I hate them with a passion. I absolutely hate the tests. They near choke me, and it makes my eyes water when they stick that thing up my nose. But at the end of the day, I've got to have it, and I just got to have it, and that's all there is to it. So I, put up with it and do what I've got to do. But and don't forget about your lockdowns. If you're in lockdown, you're staying at home for 14 days. Listen to what they got to say, because it could cost you a lot of money, and you could make your grandfather or your grandmother or your father or your uncle very sick if you're carrying it around and don't know about it. So if you're in lockdown, stay in your lockdown. But anyhow, look, Jimmy from Hairy Campers, live feeds on Sunday night, 6:30. If you like what we do on YouTube, don't forget the subscribe button. And Mr. Buccarini was saying the other day it makes shit difference, so that's fine. But anyhow, the likes are the ones that make the difference. So if you like what I do, hit the like button, and the views. Must get the views. So you can have 2 million subscribers and 200 views, and you get nowhere. But anyhow, all right, Jimmy from Hairy Campers. Hope you enjoyed. I know we enjoyed our time at Cape York. If you want to know anything about Cape York, feel free to send us an email. I'll answer any questions you want. Be prepared for it to be rough. The dirt was rough. I mean rough. So, but there's a lot more tar than what there used to be, and there'll be a lot more tar up there by the time you get up there too. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed.